This is Paramita. So, in my last video, we have already discussed some grouping and some include exclude mechanism with grouping. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the data provider tag. Like it's like parameterization, how we can do parameterization in TestNG. Now, if we go to TestNG documentation, so groups, we have done that, exclusions, inclusions, parameters with yeah. See the parameters with data providers. Okay. Now here you can see in the, if you go to the documentation, you can learn everything actually one by one. So here, see how they are doing. So see, it's written this method will provide data to any test method that declares that it's data provider. Okay, and this test method declares that its data should be supplied by the data provider named test1. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to create one test or one method which will supply the data, and we have to create another method which is going to receive the data from that other data provider method. Okay, and another thing you have to notice here, that the method which is going to supply the data, that should have a return value of object of array types. Okay, so this one you got to understand here. This is actually in Java you must have seen that multi-dimensional array. So that concept is applied here actually. It's very easy if you understand the multi-dimensional array. So basically this object is the object of arrays. Okay, how it is that we are going to explain that. So here I am going to open a new class in this bank application package. I'll say I have to give some name, data generator. So within data generator class, so this is a method, public object create data. Okay, public object create data. This is a method. So here what we are going to do, we will use this annotation data provider and name equal to test1. We'll give some different name. Suppose previously we were doing the bank application, so we'll give bank. Okay, so this is the data provide supplying methods, and at the rate data provider name equal to bank. Now here you see the method. The method is public object type create data one. Okay, so this is the thing you got to understand why its type is object like that. So this is basically object of arrays. So arrays inside arrays. Okay, so this is actually we are passing a multi-dimensional array through this method. Now return new object, and here what you are going to do, suppose we will go to the Excel sheet. Okay, there we will understand that what we are going to do here. Excel Yeah, suppose here username, password. Okay. Now here one username is John, password is 1234, another is Perry, password 3456. Okay. So here see, this is one set of data. Okay. Where we have two columns. This is another set of data. Username and password. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is another set of data. So each set of data actually one row. And within one row, how many data are there? That's actually the column count. Now here two columns are there. Suppose another column will be there. Email. Okay. This is an email. This is another email. So in this way, we can create more and more set of data. So each set is one row, and within row, how many data? That is actually number of columns. Okay. So and here see, each row is one array actually, because in each row we have few items inside that. So this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3. And another thing in array, what happens? The first element of the array, that's index is 0. Okay, index starts from 0. So there are 3 rows, but the index will be for first row 0, second row 1, and third row 2. Alright, so all these things is explained in Java. So if you haven't done the Java, you have to go back and you have to check the multi-dimensional array in Java. Okay, so now here what it's doing is returning this object of arrays. Okay, and each array is actually one row, one set of data. Now suppose here we are supplying this name and password. Suppose this is username, password and email, as I have explained in the Excel sheet. Okay, so name, password and email. This is one set. All the strings, they have to be within the double quote. Okay, yeah. So now here the advantage is that you can pass within this array of object any type of data, not just string. So that's the reason why the written type they made like this. So you can pass any types of data, like this is string data, this is numeric data, this is string data again, even you can send some alphanumeric data. So everything will be passed through this object of arrays. So that's why this return type is like this. So you can pass any type of data. Now we are using this data provider annotation, so we have to uh, import this data provider. So we are sending here two sets of data. Okay. Now it can be used by any number of methods, not just one method. It can be used by any number of methods. Suppose I'm going to uh, write another test here. Sorry. So we have to mention the data provider name. Yeah, the data provider name is this one, which we have provided, this name equal to bank. So this is actually a data provider, okay, and this data provider's name is bank, and that has to be mentioned where where we are passing this data. Okay, so this is another method, public void use data. Okay, now here we have to pass this data. So to receive those data, we have to put some parameter here, and their type should be the same. Like the first data here is string type. Okay, so here the variable we have to put string. You can put any name. I'll put str1. Okay, then comma, and so the next data we are passing is integer type. Okay, so we'll put int x, and then third one is again string type, str2. We have to input text here. There is an extra bracket. Okay, so see, this first data is string type, so we passed a string variable. The second one is integer type, so we passed an int variable. The third one is again a string type, so we passed a string variable. Okay, so this is going to receive this one, this is going to receive this one is going to receive this data. So similarly, again, the next set of data will be received. So you can pass basically as many set of data as you want. Okay, there is no limitation. Suppose first we'll check how it's doing. Within this, I'm going to print out them. System dot so in the first line, I'm going showing tomato. So yeah, so first one will be str1, then second one will be x, and the third one will be str2. Okay, so I'm going to print this first. Yeah, now see what's going to happen. We'll run here, and it's going to print out the whole set of data. Run. We're just running this one here, not any other test cases. Yeah, see, test run to pass to. Okay, so basically what it did, it printed the whole set of data. This is the first test case where we are supplying this first set of data, and this is the second test case where we are supplying this second set of data. Okay, see, all are printed. We didn't need to use any for loop, while loop, anything. Okay, so this is the beauty of data provider. Okay, when you use this annotation data provider, it's so easy, the things. Now, so basically, these test cases, they are receiving two set of data. So it's like they are performing two test cases. Okay, so similarly we can send as many data set as we want. Like suppose we'll send another test data and we'll find how it's going on. Now Perry, then p at gmail.com. Okay, okay, last one we don't need to put the comma. What else we did here? Insert missing code. Oh, we didn't put that code. Double quote. Yeah, so all done now. So suppose we are sending another set of data, we'll do another set like that. Okay. Money. The string has to be within the double quote. Don't forget that. m@gmail.com. Yeah. So now we are sending how many? 4 sets of data. Now save it, run it. See, test runs 4, passes 4, failure 0. So it executed actually 4 times. This method, which is using the data, it executed 4 times because we are sending 4 sets of data. Okay, so that's the beauty of parameterization. You can send as many data as you want, but one thing you have to remember, here within each set of data, how many we are passing? 3 three values we are passing. That means this is the number of columns actually. So if we are passing 3 values, so here we have to declare, we have to pass 3 variables which will receive these 3 values. One more thing, they have to be in the order, like this first one is in the string type. Okay, so here we have to declare this variable string type. The second one here is integer type. So we have to declare this variable here integer type. Similarly, third one is string type again. So we have to declare string type. So this one you have to take care of that. It's just like if you know SQL, and you can see in SQL when we do the insert statement, then where we mention that column. So similarly here also it's like this. Okay, they are all related. If this first one is string, this one has to be string. Okay, so that's how we can use the Java multidimensional array concept, and we can set as many sets of data as we want from using this data provider annotation. Okay, so this is a very important and usable annotations actually. And one more thing, now here we are writing this data set manually, but but in reality, when we need to grab the data from Excel sheet, like I showed you this Excel sheet. Okay, if we need to grab the data from Excel sheet, we can do this. So the data from Excel sheet will be here like this automatically. So for that, we just need to use some Java logic. So how to grab the data from Excel sheet in our program. Okay, so that can be done. So this way, actually, we can use our data provider annotation in TestNG. Okay.